The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Last week, we got the opportunity to catch up with Julia Morris when Shaun was here as well, so you get the full compliment.
Why? Is I'm a Celebrity back next week?
No.
When?
It's not back until Sunday, the 19th of January.
Oh, so we're getting in early.
The promos have started already. They're singing and dancing, so we thought, hey, let's catch up with Julia Morris. Have a listen.
Jules, we're going to be talking to you about I'm a Celeb, Get Me Out of Here for next year, but we know nothing about it.
Oh,
Do you know anything?
Series 11, no less.
Do you know anything?
I don't even know what day it is half the time. I think that's the ADHD. But, you know, this year we are coming back into January. We start on January 19, which means certainly a lot of my friends have said, thank God the go-to-bed fight with my children will be over.
Sure.
Yeah.
As well as a little bit later in the year, you know, all the kids want to stay. It is one of the few shows that you can sit and watch with your teenagers, with your younger kids, with, you know, like how often is there a show that you can actually get coax the teenagers into come and watching?
Yeah, I get it. Hey.
But if they're littlies, there's the go-to-bed fight.
Perfect.
By 8:30, you're like, mate, you cannot stay up until 9 o'clock another evening. So outside of school time, that's a joy that knows
Isn't that crazy, though? Because they get to stay up an hour early. For us, you went to bed when Fat Cat went to bed. So Fat Cat would be on TV and do the good night thing, and then put his hands over his eyes, and that's when you had to go to bed.
Was he just a telethon a few weeks ago? I'm sure.
He's a bit of a stalwart of Channel 7.
I do wonder when we're going to get to the point where it's going to be politically incorrect to call him fat.
Well, no, it's a PH now. It's PH.
Oh, so gangster fat.
He's modern gangster fat.
I love it.
Julia, so we know that you are the queen of the jungle and, of course, you are the host. But I want to know, do you have any control or say on ideas for casting? Because I'm guessing a lot of people would see you or contact you and go, hey, I'd be so keen for a season.
She used to, but not since the Bernard Tomic disaster. Is that right?
No, oh, my God. I literally was saying this morning, like, I've still got issues with Bernard talking.
He didn't win any fans, did he?
No.
You know? And a show like this...
makes me grumpy.
How many days did you last in the end?
I opened my heart to you when you walked. Yeah. Look, as you can imagine, as a woman in showbiz, I have absolutely no say in anything at all. So I'm just thrilled to still have a job. Look, sometimes people will be cast where I'm like, oh, God, how's that going to go? And they're often the people who surprise me because we think we know them through the media's version of them. And then we get to see this, you know, the guard down, the lux stripped away, and we do get to see pretty much what people are about if they're willing to let us in. And
who surprised you the most on that? Who surprised you the most, Julia?
Who surprised you the most? Do you know, I think our Jungle King Miguel.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I love him.
He's an open book.
I always knew that he was fun, and I always knew, you know, like he's full of beans. But during his time in the jungle, he just showed us what an extraordinary human being he is.
How he is authentically him. A lot of the times you meet somebody on TV and then we interview them and you see a version of them but it's not them. Miguel is one of those people like you, Julia, that we've met that are authentic and you connect with them straight away because you're actually meeting each other. And then when you meet Miguel in real life, that's what you meet. And he is
that's the nothing
amazing.
To hide stuff, I reckon. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah. I think it is.
So you're not on guard or not trying to shut down rumours.
No, not at all.
You know, but Miguel, I found him to be an absolute gentleman of note. And I think that was, you know, one of the more... I mean, we've had so many incredibly impressive people come through the jungle, and I'm always delighted to hear from them after the experience as to how much it brought about tremendous change in their self-belief, and I love that.
And careers.
When you eat a lot of guts and testicles, I mean, that's what happens to you, apparently.
Yeah. Well, not every weekend, Sean.
It didn't happen to me, and I've eaten plenty over the years. No, that's too far. But I've got heaps of jewellery now. I never have to do that again.
Hey, Jules,
I think that's good.
What does the rest of the year look like for you? Because we're all counting down to, for radio terms, you know, we're on holiday shortly and stuff like that. What does it look like leading up to Chrissy for you?
Well, it's kind of gearing up. We take off pretty early in the piece in January, getting ready to go to air on January 19. But I am also, I've got a Year 12 student who has completed her school studies, so that's pretty exciting.
What's she going to do? What does she want to do?
She's been accepted selected to TAFTA, the Television and Film Acting Academy.
Oh, amazing.
Well, are you worried about her going in this industry? I mean, you've had a successful run, but you remember you had a resurgence in your career. Like suddenly, like when you came back, Julian, was it after dancing?
I don't think I want somebody that I have birthed and raised to have that much heartache, but that's what she wants to do.
Yeah.
So I have to go and stand side by side. Like, not long ago I've had a call from a colleague and friend that I worked with a little while ago, and that person was saying to me, I am so disillusioned at the moment, and this is a person who I think is incredibly successful.
Really? Yeah.
And wanted to come and have a bit of a chat with me and just, in terms of longevity and surviving we do forget about the constant no's in this business. The yeses are rare.
Yeah.
And, sometimes a yes will begat another yes, which is exciting.
Yeah.
That's
and
what you are. You're in the yes zone.
You're in the flavour of the month and whatever, but it is such a heartbreaking industry.
Well, there's so much culling going on.
But, talk about, we just spoke about Miguel, but talk about a gentleman of note and talk about me hitting the all-time jackpot of being... going from one host who's incredibly fabulous to going to another host who's incredibly fabulous. I genuinely cannot believe my life.
I tell you.
The rumour was that he was leaving at the end of last season.
And
so all of a sudden...
You know what? You know who that was? All those stupid ones, with like a woman's day or a new idea where you're like, that's
it's
just
not real.
Stop reporting and get back to the crossword.
And on a work experience week.
So the new series of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Who are the celebrities? We don't know. It's Sunday, 19th of January on Channel 10 and 10 Play. It's always a pleasure.
I love you guys and I miss you.
I miss you too. So
we have cousin Julia.
We have a standing date at the Morris.
We
okay?
do.
All right,
I'm telling you, the second I touch soil, I will be coming to find you, and across we go. Of course, we will not steal plates.
But if some go missing, it's definitely not you.
And all that we're missing will be a complete set of 6 each.
Yeah, well, do you know what? This is just what happens when Morrises get together. It's like a phenomenon.
Yes, and that phenomenon is grand larceny.
Grand larceny.
Love you, Jules.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Julia.
Lots of love.
Bye, hon.
Cheers, bye.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Tomorrow night is the final episode of the Cheap Seats for this season. It's at 8:40 on Channel 10, and the host with the most, of course, is Tim McDonald, who joins us now. Good morning, Tim.
Morning, guys. Great to be talking to Perth's #1 folk duo. Thanks, man.
Don't you think, though, Tim? Sometimes we have to give it a go. We don't know. We could be amazing.
Well, you and Mel could do a folk duo too.
We're no good at singing, which probably means we could win The Voice. But apart from that, we're going to steer clear of music. We're going to stick to the Cheap Seats, I reckon.
I don't know. Maybe we could have a challenge, because we're not good singers either.
No.
We'll see who can, you, Mel, and me and Nat, who can folks it out the most. Like, who can get like the folk crowd in their hemp clothes coming to their concerts.
Well, if we're going on hemp clothes, I'm probably winning at the moment. I'm in dire need of a shower.
He just rolled off his pants and smoked them. How are you, Timmy?
Great, guys. Thanks so much for having me. This episode of the Cheap Seats on Tuesday night, it's my favourite for the year because we watch about 30 weeks of news every year, but this episode, it's the best bits from the year. So it's 1 hour. It's the best clips from the year. And we go through all those things that you forgot happened in the year, like the royal visit, Julian Assange, presidential elections, Pesto the Penguin. Like
Just the big ones.
Pesto the Penguin.
Well, we wanted
Pesto.
So do we. We wanted him as our final guest, but he's in rehab battling an ice addiction at the moment. So
I have pesto in sandwiches sometimes now, just as a thing.
He's not as cute now that he's lost all his little fluff, is he? He was so adorable, but now he's just a penguin.
Yeah, he's the first penguin in the world to enrol at Ashley and Martin. It's unbelievable.
My mate, when I was in Big Brother, Tim, when we got out, by the time we had gotten out of the house, he had a deal with advanced hair, and back then they did not only the surgery, but they did the procedure where they basically got book contact, put hair in it, and stuck it in your head. We're looking around for him on the street, trying to find out where he is, and then we go, "Oh my God, that looks like Kieran, but with hair." And then Kieran starts walking over and go, "Oh my God, what have you done?" And he just lifts it off and sticks it back down.
Oh, like a hash. That's amazing.
And I was in Spudshed, right, on the weekend, and there was a guy walking out that had a toupee on that I am not joking. It was doll hair. It was, that see-through sort of synthetic sort of hair.
Yes,
That was it. And I couldn't even hide my face.
Look, if you're going to do it, you need to go all in and buy the proper
It looked like
hair.
Chucky's hair. It looked like he pulled Chucky's hair off the Child Play doll.
Your hair real, Tim?
It is, and at this point I should say big thanks to Advanced Hair. Those guys do wonderful work.
And also you can cover your school books in it.
Correct, yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of a guy who probably should head down to Advanced Hair, Tom Gleisner, host of Have You Been Paying Attention, is our special guest on Tuesday night. So I might flag the book contact to pay.
Perfect. You did send through a little clip of what you deemed was one of the highlight news stories of the year. Is that right?
Can I introduce it? So one of the big stories this year, it was back in July, it was the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, and it broke on about Sunday morning our time on radio, and just have a listen to the radio show that news broke on.
Breaking news out of the US. Donald Trump hit with a bullet shot at one of his rallies. We'll bring you more on that news and more from the House of Wellness after this break.
You're listening to the House of Wellness, thanks to Chemist Warehouse.
The House of Wellness with all the big breaking world news.
So we went from a presidential assassination to constipation within about 5 minutes. It was unbelievable.
But we have to do that here sometimes. You know, suddenly a celebrity will die or whatever, and then we're going into a song of how the celebrity would have died. Like if it was a fire, it would be like, burn. Yeah. And you have to go, quickly change the song. It's not good.
That's what we love. We love those segues. We love those moments. We love finding those little nuggets in the news each week. And so we've assembled the best bits of 2024. We put it all together in one episode.
Would your show be what it is if Chemist Warehouse did not exist? Because you have mined them deep, haven't you?
Well, we like, they do an infomercial called What's On in the Warehouse.
Yes. What's on in the warehouse?
Where basically the two of them literally talk about constipation for about 10 minutes.
I know, and they're having a lovely chat. And it's like, people are like, the people with trolleys trying to get that stuff behind you. Move.
Ironically, they need a bit of constipation relief. We just want to get them through. We love Chemist Warehouse. Thankfully, they haven't issued a cease and desist yet.
But you know what I love about Chemist Warehouse?
Haven't they?
Firstly, we love Chemist Warehouse because they are the place that saw Gina from Real Housewives and gave her Gina by Gina.
Well, we were speaking about odd-smelling folk songs before, and I'm actually wearing Gina by Gina at the moment. And
it was an Liardi? Gina Liardo. That is so funny.
The bottle says best before 2016, and I'm not sure if that's the fragrance or the show Real Housewives.
Hey, Tim, it was a hilarious news story. It would have been, it would have been a couple of years ago, but it was a teaser to what was on the news that night, and it was like, the thing in everybody's home that could kill you and your family. We'll tell you what it is after 6.
So tell me now.
If it's like dangerous, I'm in my house now. Let me know now. I can't wait 4 hours.
But first, we got a Michael Bublé exclusive. I'm like, guys, get to the important stuff. That's the stuff we love on the cheap seats. We love that.
And of course, our favourite is Mel Tracina because she's part of the Nova family, and she loves a reality show, doesn't she?
Well, speaking of Big Brother, it's just announced a couple of weeks back that she's going to be the new host of Big Brother. Yeah. It'll be the first time in Big Brother history that the host is evicted, I think, judging by Mel's track record.
I don't know. They wanted to get rid of Kyle and Jackie O there for a second.
Did they host Big Brother,
did they? They did, yeah.
And you should have seen it. So, because I basically went back every year.
Yeah.
And you go into their dressing room. The dressing room was always the same. It's just people put their stuff in there, used it and left. They had it completely redesigned. It was like, it was like a big white, like curved couch. One of the gross ones that, like a really rich family would buy. They have no taste.
Rich.
And then I remember there was like an urn, and I think it had some feathers in it. Like, who says I'm not working there unless there's an urn with feathers? Like, it was insane. Yeah, I'm
glad it was filled with feathers. I was worried that with an urn, that might be where some of the eliminated contestants end up.
You'd have some pretty big demands about your dressing room, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Well, unlike Kyle and Jackie O, we're not on $10 million a year. We just like a working swipe card, to be honest. So we do things on the sniff of an oily rag over at 10.
How many times have I've gotten changed in a laneway before going to an event? I'm sure that's happened to you, hasn't it?
Taking pants off more than putting them on.
We're not at indecent exposure levels, guys. We might be doing a little bit better than that. But, hey, by the sounds of that folk band, that should be no trouble at all.
All right, challenge accepted. Acoustic guitars and rock deodorant. Let's go.
How are we going with our love for motorsports, Tim? Where are we at?
Yes, so I do a little F1 podcast on the side, the reserve drivers. If you're an F1 fan, Las Vegas is the Grand Prix this weekend, and good timing. I think at Perth time it works out to be about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. So forget waking up in the middle of the night. It's going to be a ripper. It's Las Vegas. It's down the strip. Would we like the Perth Grand Prix? Would we like the Grand Prix to come to Perth?
I don't know. I do like the Vegas one. I reckon everyone should be made to drive with a stripper, and they're going woo.
Look, I can't confirm or deny whether that's a part of the qualifying process.
The cocktail in an Eiffel Tower. Tim, did you watch the Tyson fight yesterday?
Oh.
I didn't. I was one of the only ones who didn't watch the Jake Paul
so
deodorant ad, by which I mean the fight.
Yes.
Did you guys see it?
Look, yeah. I didn't watch it live, but
I've seen it, and because my mate's right into that sort of stuff. It just. You know what it is?
It doesn't seem right.
It's just unnecessary to punch an old man. And even though if an old man come up to me and says, "Hey, we're both going to get paid a lot of money, but you belt the crap out of me," I'd say no. I choose not to be that
old man's
person.
Mike Tyson.
I know, but he's still Mike Tyson. And I think that Mike Tyson is so old, he still thinks he's Mike Tyson. You know, when you know there's that part of your life where you're loose and you know your abilities and your limitations. He's gone past that.
You wouldn't want him to punch you, though, would you?
No, you wouldn't. But people said the fight was a bit of a fizzer, and judging by the footage I've seen, I reckon it wasn't as bad as Peter Costello running into that journalist at the airport. I reckon I'd pay to see another round of that, to be honest.
That's a great point. I mean, how do you feel about the world having to see Mike Tyson's butt, though?
Yeah, well, I'm just glad we're on at 8:40 and we don't need to show that sort of vision.
Oh no, we've changed our banner on all of our social medias to his ass.
Oh really? There you go. I don't reckon the world's ready for that, but you know, good luck to him. He's apparently signed on to the new season of the ABC's Old People's Home for 4-year-olds. So
did you ever see his cartoon? No,
I never saw his cartoon.
Yeah, he did a cartoon because he also is a pigeon farrier.
Yes. Fancier.
He's a pigeon fancier. So he was. I think he was fighting crime, or he was a detective, and his partner was a pigeon.
And it's hard to believe that man has taken repeated concussions to the head, isn't it?
No. Well, he thinks it's a documentary. So
is the pigeon with you now? Can you see the pigeon?
It's the pigeon in the room with us.
I'd only do that sort of show with Pesto the Penguin. Pesto the Penguin will be my crime-fighting sidekick, I reckon.
Well, we're on board with that, Tim. Yeah. We can't wait for the grand finale of the Cheap Seats tomorrow night on Channel 10, 8:40. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for talking to us, Tim.
Do you know that you're back next season? What happens in TV? How many seasons in advance, you know, is it just every season?
Look, we work for Channel 10. We treat every episode as our final episode.
So your periodical tenants.
We are back next year. Well, the show's back. I don't know if I'm back, but the show's back next year. But 8:40 Tuesday night, we'll go out with a bang.
Love your work. Thanks, buddy.
Bye, buddy.
Guys, thanks for having me.
Bye,
Appreciate it.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
As you know, I bought a box. On the internet.
Little boxes on the hillside. Little boxes made of
is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I feel such resentment towards it.
When you bought it said some assembly required, but as it turned out, it was complete assembly required because it came in literal pieces.
And now, I'm pretty sure this is a well-known company, but I don't care. I'm going to name them. It's Vida XL.
Never heard of them.
I know. So they're everywhere. They sell on Amazon and everything. Once you see them, you can never unsee them. The instructions. So rudimentary, as you would get from an IKEA instruction booklet.
Yeah, so pictures, not written words.
Yeah, but there are some things that just I know that we are writing a booklet for any language to understand.
Yes.
But you know, your website's in English. This is an English company. Can you just put a little sentence in there? Because other people will be able to Google Translate. Oh, you know, I'll put it in Spanish. I don't care. I'll Google Translate. Just we need words for this because they're trying to show things in pictures and they've done it in such a confusing way that it took me like an hour to
figure out. They should get the IKEA people to do it because what they do, it is all there. It's in front of you. Once you figure out the way that those work, you can interpret it exactly as it's supposed to be. They make it very clear. So this mob don't.
The thing about IKEA is it has basically got pilot holes. The holes are drilled in there. This one here, it's a hit or miss. So basically, they've got holes for some things. Nothing's labelled. So basically, it was just a plank of woods for this garden storage box that's going on my balcony. It was just a nightmare. So then I'm getting the individual planks, like imagine a picket fence. pants. I've got to put all them in individually, and they've got to be attached with 2 dowels, right?
Yes.
2 little wooden peg things. So I put them in there. The wooden peg things, the quality of them was so bad, they kept on snapping, and they only gave you the exact number of dowels.
Course.
So then I had to go back to Bunnings to buy more dowels, Andy McDowell's. That was annoying. And then once I put the dowels in, I've realised when I go to put the top bit on top that the dowels are sticking out at an angle, so one of the bits of wood isn't going down. And so now the top won't pop on. So when I put the top on, the slats just fall out. Anyway, David, I got him the same box, our boss.
What a gift for him.
Now, David's going to get someone to do it, but I said to him, no,
he's going to leave the whole thing on the verge, I reckon.
Well, mate, I was close now. I'm trying not to swear. It was such a frustrating time for me, but I thought, I've got to really be a man sometimes. And I feel like
this is it. This is the one thing that you're going to...
I think I can do it, and I don't think I can. I was going to smash it. I was going to throw it off my balcony. I was going to wreck it. But yet, I don't have that in me. I'm not a breaker, but I thought if you're those people that get so frustrated.
Either it's going to break, Nathan, or you're going to break. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe you need to protect your own mental health and just get this thing out of your life.
Isn't it amazing? Something that I searched the internet for, I searched it, and then I found it and went, oh my God, that's great. And I was so excited about it. I loved the idea of it. Now I've got it and I've gone through this process, I hate that effing thing.
Yeah, so you can't have it in your life. Now, even if you do get it together, you won't like it.
Can I tell you, I've already started Googling other ones.
You won't like it at all. Because it's just a constant reminder of your failings.
And also, this is another thing I did, because I'm going to keep myself accountable. I did it right in front of the TV and spread everything out in front of me in the way. So it was in the way, so I have to get it built.
Yes, sure.
Or else it's not going to move. Anyway, it's still there.
Don't make the mistake that our mate Goss made when he had to put together a bunk bed and he put it and he did it all and in the lounge room and then realised that is get it through the doorway into the
See that there?
the bedroom.
Straight away, I wouldn't even be getting the Allen key.
Build it in the room that you need it, is my piece of advice. And you're doing that.
He would also, in his mind, go, if I had an angle grinder here, I'd cut this thing in half. And that's what I want to talk about, right? You've bought something and you love it. And then you've got to assemble it, and now you hate it. Okay? We want to know. You loved it, you purchased it, you've received it, and whether it's assembly or not, why do you now hate it?
It might not be because you had to put it together. It might be for some other reason. Maybe it's got a really sharp edge and you cut yourself on it right at the very beginning, or you stubbed your toe on it, and that might have been your fault. But regardless, you're taking it out on that piece of furniture forever.
I've got a chair in my room, right, and it's a really lovely chair, and it's a feature one. Anyway, I don't know what the metal is made with, Natalie. But every time, if I even tap it like this with my toe, it is the most painful thing. It's like, I think it's got kryptonite in there or something.
It's weapons grade metal, whatever it is.
And I hate that chair. And I kick my toe every second day. God, it annoys me.
Chelsea, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
what happened, Chelsea?
Okay, so our son has always been a really bad sleeper, and so we were like, okay, we'll take you to IKEA. You can pick your own bed.
Oh, fun.
We thought he would enjoy that. And
he's part of the process. That's his bed. He might go to sleep.
Yeah.
He's got some ownership on it. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So we went to IKEA. He picked one of those loft beds, like a bunk bed, but it has no bottom bunk.
Yes.
We were like, we can set him up a nice little area underneath and all of that.
Can I tell you, I was obsessed with those bunks when I was younger, because you could get them, but only the rich people could get those because everyone else has the single ones.
Right,
but to me, for a poor kid, that was having a second level in your house.
It was just a lifestyle. It sold you on the lifestyle.
Absolutely.
It was a mezzanine level now.
Okay, so what happened, Chelsea?
Well, we had to buy him the specific mattress that went with it and all of that.
Yeah.
So then we tried to put it up as a surprise for his birthday.
Yeah.
So we got him out of the house. He was with the grandparents, all of that. Anyway, 6 hours later of us trying to put this loft bed together, and he got home and he was like, oh my God, it's so cool. And then he refused to sleep in it.
Oh, no. Why?
Yeah. Is it too high?
It's too high. It's too dark up there. He would not go in it.
It shouldn't be dark up there. You're close to the light bulb.
Oh, Chelsea, I'd be furious.
So what? Is it just sits there and he doesn't use it?
Well, we had to buy him another bed, dismantle that one. That one is now in my daughter's room, but she hates it as well.
So everybody hates it now.
Mate.
Everyone hates it.
Oh, Chelsea, that's heartbreaking.
This loft bed. It cost us a fortune as well. So.
Yeah.
The fact that it's too high up, yet he wanted it.
I know.
God.
You asked for this.
I know you're not allowed to hit kids, but swear.
6 hours of putting it together. I'm devastated for you. Thanks, Chelsea. Kaylee's in Merriwa. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Kaylee.
Okay, Kaylee, what did you love but now you hate?
Oh, my God. So we moved into a house at the beginning of this year and we bought this couch. And when I went and had a look at it, it was a gorgeous couch. It had everything we thought we needed, whatnot. Anyway, we got it home, built it. It takes up half of our lounge room. And because it's recliners, we can't put it right to the wall. And so it slides around, and because it's electric recliners, every time I try and get up quickly, it doesn't happen. And look, I'm just over it. I'm really bloody over it. And it costs a lot of money.
That's the worst.
Get rid of it.
Okay,
These
so
people that don't measure the rooms first, and so many people are guilty of it, and then realising, okay, it reclines, it's going to need extra space there. If you walk into someone's room and all you see is couch, that's not good.
It's a lot. How much ballpark figure did you pay for it, Kaylee?
Oh, look, delivery, probably close to 2.5.
Okay, so I'm not going to say the company, but is the company always having a sale?
Yeah, it is one of the big ones. Yeah.
Now, Kaylee, you said that one of the things you really don't like about it is that because it's electric, if you've reclined it, you can't get up quickly. You just have to wait for it to go.
Yes,
is that right?
Yes, and it takes a while to, like, you're sitting there for a minute, like,
Kaylee.
The doorbell rings and you're like, hang on,
Kaylee,
this could be a while.
It's like one of those nano lifts in a chair in a stairwell. Kaylee, I have to tell you, I think slower is better than quicker. My mum's friend, who she used to work with, she had a recliner, a manual one, and so she could just like quickly flip your feet down and get up. She did that. She put her feet down because there was a knock on the door. I thought, she was going to bed or something. Anyway, she goes, put her feet down. She goes to stand up and walk off. Her pajama pants had got caught in the lip of the recliner when it closed, and she fell down face first. She had stuff in her hand. She was wearing her glasses, and she just fell onto her face, and she had the glasses cuts all under her eyes.
So at least that hasn't happened to you, Kaylee. Okay.
So slow's the way to go. Slow's the way to go.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what you've been through. Jay's in Ellenbrook. Hello.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, Jay. Where have you been?
So, bit of a backstory. I used to work at a furniture shop for 4.5 years and build all these stupid things.
Yeah.
So my partner decided she wanted a Super King bed.
Yes.
With gas struts that lifts up with storage underneath.
Yes. Amazing.
And beautiful, very expensive, and of course, being me, I'll build it, that's fine, no worries. It comes in 1,000 friggin' boxes. I built it. I broke the 2 sideboards, snapped them in half, so I had to repatch them back up.
Oh, God.
As I went to connect it, all ready to go, I broke the middle slat, so underneath storage can't be used anymore because I've broken it all completely.
So one of the major features you can't use?
Yep, one of the major features you can't use. And to top it all off, I put the gas struts on awkwardly, so a bit of the bed sticks out. So every time we make the bed, I smash my shin on it. So
Jay,
you hate that.
Can I tell you?
You hate it.
This is the part that I said that has no pilot holes and I had to measure exactly where it is. That's the most important part. That's where the hydraulic arms go. So they have to be the same as you, Jay. They have to be even. And if they're not, then it's not going to work.
The whole thing's wonky.
And they don't make it lining up either. They never make it lining up. So it's not your fault that you can't put it together. It's their fault.
And I want
everyone experience. You know what you're doing as well.
I want everyone listening. Like, there is no shame in your game if you get someone to build it. To be honest, I would actually rather them to take the whole "are you a man" situation out of the picture and just you buy it and they assemble it and they chuck that fee in there in the price. So then someone comes over and puts it together. Because, going into Bunnings to buy a pink ladies toolkit was not a proud moment for me.
Yeah, it was.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.